I'd like to welcome you all. Paradise, Michigan.
Cue the intro, bitches.
Wayne rods too.
And here we are. Darkness, dinosaurs, and other strange things. Welcome to Paradise, Michigan Genesis. This is episode 6 of season 3. Laz. The air is thick, heavy with dampness. It carries the scent of rot, old wood, wet earth, something sour and decayed. Each breath you take feels weighted, like the air itself resists you. The cold isn't just in the air. It seeps into your skin, crawling up your spine, sinking into your bones. The floor beneath you is slick, uneven. Stone? No. Softer in places. Like damp fabric. Or swollen wood, like something that shouldn't be walked on. When you shift, something gives slightly under your weight, as if the place itself is breathing, slow and shallow. Water drips somewhere in the distance. Slow, deliberate rhythm. The sound magnified by the silence. Drip. 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 The sound moves. First, ahead of you. Then behind. Then above. As though the walls are rearranging themselves when you're not looking. You can't see the walls, but you know they're there. Pressing close, just beyond reach. You can feel them. Watching. Listening. The darkness isn't just absence. It's presence. A deep, living blackness that swallows every sound, every movement. Your own breathing reflects back at you. Not quite right, like something else is breathing with you. Then,
Hello? Who's there? I thought I was alone.
The voice doesn't come from one place. It moves, shifting in the dark, slipping between the drips of water, threading through the silence. At first, it sounds uncertain. You respond.
Hello? Where are we?
No one ever answers me, but you did. Why?
I'm kind of confused, I guess. And you're a point of reference. Something I can interact with. I can't really tell where the walls are. I can't see anything.
How long have you been here? Wait, do you even know?
No? I just kind of I guess came to, woke up. Just suddenly started realizing where I was. I don't remember what came before this.
Where did you come from? No one comes here, not really. Not on purpose.
I don't know, like I was in the secret room behind the door, and then there was the door got opened and everything started flying around the room like a damn hurricane, and I grabbed the bed with the sheets, and then Jess was there and everybody else went through the door, and then that was it. That's the last thing I remember.
I was from out there once, too. I think I had a place, a name.
From out there, do you mean like logging camp, or from somewhere else?
What's it like out there? I try to remember, but it slips through me like water through fingers.
I mean, it depends on where you're talking about, but the logging camp is, I don't know. It's almost like cowboys and shit, almost. There's like a sawmill, and like everybody's dressed in like browns and grays, and um, but like where I'm from, it's like a town. There's streets and like brick buildings and like a water tower and like stores and stuff.
Maybe I was never real. Maybe I was just a reflection pretending to be real.
Wait, reflection, like, Anne? Is that you?
Are you scared yet? You should be. You're where I was before I became this.
Oh no.
And what exactly is this? What are
I knew
you?
I knew a girl once. She had my face, but it wasn't really mine. She was always watching me, waiting. She wanted what I had. She wanted to be me. She's jealous, you know. She hates when people leave, hates when they look away. Do you know what it feels like to be swallowed by your own reflection?
No, I can't say that I do, but I can assure you that Jessica's real, and she's not jealous of you. She didn't choose what happened to you on purpose. Like, it was, look, what happened to you was terrible, but Jessica started outside the mirror. You started off inside the mirror. That's the way that we were just trying to make things go back to.
You're breathing so fast. Are you afraid she's behind you?
Oh. Oh.
Look, if if you got something to say or you want to like do something, then just do it. Stop playing these fucking games.
The air grows colder.
Oh, God.
The darkness feels thicker. Somewhere, just beyond sight, something shifts.
You shouldn't be here. You have to go. Now.
As you hear those words, Laz, you feel as though a rope has been tied around your waist, and you are yanked forcefully what feels upward. And
as he does so, he
go
goes,
ahead.
"This place sucks."
Yo! Doppler effect.
And as you fly upward, the atmosphere grows thicker. What was a damp slickness of humidity and moisture becomes water. You open your mouth involuntarily to scream, and you fill immediately with cold water. Suddenly there is a light visible above you, a circle of light, as you are continued to be ripped upward until suddenly you burst through the surface of a body of water, sputtering and splashing in the middle of what seems to be some kind of spring or pond in the middle of some very tall trees. And as you're flailing and gasping, you see about 50 feet away from you on the shore, you see the backs of Billy and Oak and Coop and Rosie, and towering over them, you see a Tyrannosaurus Rex. What do you do?
I think at first he just sees the backs of his friends, and sputtering for air, having lungs full of water, he's not even able to really like call out to them. So he just kind of starts swimming as best he can towards them, still kind of coughing and having to stop every once in a while. But the next time that he looks is when he notices that this T-Rex is standing there, its head kind of sticking out from like the lower branches of these trees, and he completely stops swimming. And he kind of rubs his eyes for a second. The fuck? Whatever. And he just starts swimming towards them again.
The rest of you, make me a brains check real quick.
No, I do have a question. I did say that Rosie ran.
Oh,
Do we
I'll
just
get
wanna
to
retcon
you.
that and say-
I'll get to
okay,
you.
okay. Oh, I don't like the way you said you. Okay. I'll handle you in a minute, too. Not super brainy.
I do want you to make a brain check, though.
I did.
No, I'm sorry. Carrie, make a flight check for Rosie.
Right.
Ted, make
Can do.
a brains check for Billy.
It's a 4.
Okay. Okay, so we got a 19 for Oak. 15. Billy and Oak. You hear splashing in the spring in the water behind you. This is, of course, immediately after this T-Rex that's in front of you has roared, and this little girl about Oak and Coop's age has just called this dinosaur Mr. Grumpy Pants. But Billy and Oak, you do hear the splashing. And I'd say, Oak, even with your 19, it's kind of like you catch out of your peripheral the movement, and you see Laz emerging, soaking wet from within spring.
Yeah, I think that there's that moment where, like, you're too terrified to move because you don't know what this is going to do. But out of the corner of his eye, he catches Laz, and there's this moment where his panic or his fear of this T-Rex in front of him kind of lessens because he realizes that, like, a friend that he was concerned about is here. But he still doesn't want to move, so he's like stuck there. And I remember Coop being like right next to Oak at the time, and I imagine we're both just staring there, like, I'm still open mouthed. I haven't said a single thing, but the only thing I'm doing is looking off to the side and seeing that Laz is present. And I think that does provide Oak a little bit of relief.
It's T-Rex. It means Tyrant Lizard King.
Thanks for the info, Coop. Hi. What do we do? I mean,
so I look over and I see, Laz. I hear the splashing. I see it's Laz. I'm like, all right, I'll worry about whatever that is. And I step in front of the group to make sure that I am in between the T-Rex and the kids.
As you step forward, the little girl looks to you, and she kind of looks up at you. You're a bit taller than she is, and she glances back up at the T-Rex, and she goes, "You don't have to worry. Mr. Grumpy Pants won't hurt you. Not unless I tell him to. And I wouldn't do that."
So how did you become friends with Mr. Grumpy Pants?
That's... How does anyone become friends with a dinosaur?
Precisely.
You feed it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I become friends with people who feed me.
Dinosaurs eat a lot. Mr. Grumpy Pants eats a lot. That's why you won't see a lot of deer in this part of the woods. Where did you all come from? How did you get here?
I have so many questions, and I don't know if you have enough answers.
Well, you got a T-Rex, so I don't mind being a little obvious. We fell through a door.
You fell through a door?
Sucked.
What kind of door would you fall through to end up here?
Okay, it's way more complicated than he's making it sound, but, yeah. Have you seen any green doors with brass handles in these woods? What am I doing? What is happening right now?
This is so cool. Can I pet him?
She looks up at Mr. Grumpy Pants. And Coop, I would like you to roll me a d6, please.
Oh. Okay.
If it explodes,
3.
reroll as usual.
I didn't
You might
explode.
the hand again.
3.
I want you to roll me one more d6 and add it to that.
5, so 8.
Okay. As she looks up at Mr. Grumpy Pants, you are struck with a momentary and sudden sense of fear. Not that you are afraid, but you're sensing that somebody around you is very afraid.
It's my radio head.
But it kind of flickers in and out. And then you hear very faintly, almost sounding like it's coming over a radio, you hear the little girl's voice. Would it be okay if they pet you? She hasn't opened her mouth. She hasn't said a word. You are picking up her mental telepathy signal as she communicates with Mr. Grumpy Pants. And you don't get words, but you get a sensation that being patted or having its nose stroked would alleviate some of that fear. And you watch, all of you, as this massive dinosaur head lowers. You feel, Billy, your hair kind of blows back a little bit as it snorts outward, the hot air in your face, and the T-Rex lower. You can hear its breathing deep and it can't help but grin with these teeth that are, each of its teeth are like as big as one of your legs, Coop. But Mr. Grumpy Pants lowers his head down in front of you, and it's suddenly like a scene from, even though it's anachronistic to this, it's very much like a scene in How to Train Your Dragon when he's reaching out to touch Toothless.
Coop is so stupidly happy. He reaches up and he will start stroking the snoot like a horse, a very big horse.
Coop, as soon as you touch this dinosaur's head, you begin stroking it like a horse, but you see flashes of this T-Rex in what you can only assume is 65 million years ago, in a prehistoric terrain. You see it standing and emerging, roaring viciously from the jungle, as you see another dinosaur, a Stegosaurus, scrambling away. And then you see this Stegosaurus running towards the foothills of these mountains, and you see the T-Rex charging toward it. And it's lost the scent, and its foot slips out from under it as the ground breaks away as it's near the edge of a cliff that it didn't see, and it scuttles downward, tumbling and scrabbling along the stone, and it ends up trapped in this small valley between this mountainous terrain. Scrabbling through, it becomes scared, not knowing how it's going to get out of there. And then you see, in its memory, you see a cave. As this T-Rex enters, ducking low into this cave. Within the cave is, at first, darkness. And then you see a swirling mass of energy. And the fear is temporarily replaced with an almost an unexplainable calmness and a sensation of being pulled towards this energy. And then everything goes white. And then the next thing you see is the T-Rex emerging from a cave, but it's a different cave. And as it passes through the bright light, you see tall white cedar trees. You see the edge of the sand dunes. You see the waters of Lake Michigan. And then you hear a voice in your head that says, "Oh, hello," and turn to see this little girl. All of this in an instant.
Oh, I love it.
Coop,
like I said, Coop is so happy.
Which hand are you petting the T-Rex with?
Not the power glove.
Okay.
So Coop wanted to be able to feel to see this It's the 80s. We'll say scales. It's fine.
The totally lizard, non-bird like scales.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no feathers on this dinosaur.
But yeah, so Coop got all of that information in a flash, and he just kind of nods and goes, "That makes sense, because, you know, you have a brain that's 2 times larger than other dinosaurs."
Do you say this out loud, or do you try
Yes.
to mentally communicate it?
Both.
Both at the same time.
Why not both?
Both is good.
You find that, at least in close proximity, maybe because you're touching, you're not sure, you're able to telepathically communicate. This does not require you to roll any dice. This is a base level form of your
Just
of your
it's a
ability.
cantrip. Let's go.
Yeah, it's a cantrip.
I think it's at this point that Laz kind of like climbs up on shore, like panting and breathing hard and just like drenched. What in the fuck is going on?
Language.
I think
Sorry.
I think as Laz says that, we're gonna cut to Rosie, who, as soon as the dinosaur appeared and started to roar, Rosie beat feet and started running.
I feel like this is a realistic response.
And I think we do cut to a scene that's very much like in the first episode of Lost, when Charlie and Jack and Kate are running through the woods and super close up as Rosie's just
Shaky
running
cam.
on pure adrenaline instinct. Fight or flight kicked in. You went straight for flight. And I had you roll that flight roll, which was a 4.
Yeah.
So you've been running for a few minutes. And it's one of these moments when you turn to look back, and because you realize that for the last few minutes, it could have been a minute, it could have been 10 minutes, you don't know. But you haven't heard the sound of this dinosaur roaring, you haven't heard the heavy footsteps, nor do you see any of your friends running behind you.
Oh.
And it's in that moment that you sort of glance over your shoulder that you trip. And you go sprawling. And it's one of those where I think because you rolled a 4, as you go sprawling, you totally scorpion. Like, you know what I mean. Your face and chest are in the
100%.
dirt, and your feet just kind of go up
My
and over.
feet
You can,
My
for a
feet-
moment, you know where every vertebrae in your spine is, as they all go.
And I think there is just that shot of Rosie just poof, and then you see like sneakers kick up, and then like down in the brush, and you just hear, "Oh fuck!" And then you see like her head poke up, and like look and listen, and there's nothing, and then she's just like, "Okay, shit," and she like goes and like finds a tree and is
Before
like,
you go
sneaking in.
anywhere,
Oh God.
you tripped over something. You didn't just trip.
Oh.
You've tripped over something.
I figured it was a root. So I think thinking that it's a root, Rosie just kind of like looks down and sees if she dropped
Well,
anything.
you
and sees-
as fast as you were running, you were a good 10, 15 feet away, having slid through the
Oh.
pine needles and
there
whatever.
was a skid.
But yeah,
involved.
absolutely.
Jesus Christ.
And as
Rosie was hauling ass.
as you're kind of recovering and turning still down on the ground and looking, you see that there is a person lying on the ground. Their
Are they dead?
face is turned away from you. They are wearing what looks to be dark pants, a long sleeve dark shirt, and they have dark hair, but they don't look to be much bigger than maybe Laz or Billy. Meaning it looks like
I get
another
closer.
teenager.
Okay, I get closer to the person. And I think Rosie has her bat out at this point, and she kind of like gets close and then like kind of pokes the person with her bat to see if they stir. Don't look at me like that, Chad. They might attack me. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, judgment pass.
Anything could happen in this world. There was just a T-Rex over there.
I need... It's actually been a while since I've done this, so I don't remember how to do it. Watch out, Frank. You're getting rolled over.
While Jake gets that book, check us out on teespring.com. At teespring.com, we got all kinds of great shirts like the one Tamiko's wearing, the one Jeremy's wearing, and all kinds of other great ones. You can get our designs on t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, mugs, stickers, and all kinds of other great stuff. Teespring.com. Just click the link in the description for this video.
Jeremy, we're twinning.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, here we go.
Yours is gray.
Yeah.
I like it. Mine's navy.
So,
Beautiful.
what we're going to do here is an opposed roll. Because something's about to happen. And I'm suddenly forgetting how to do this. So, I've got to look at my first edition
Would totally
rules
do
real
an
quick.
ad if I wasn't contractually obligated to only do one per show.
This is the part at the end where he's talking about just talking to himself. This is what he's referencing.
What?
Nothing. Focus on what you're doing,
Right?
Filling
Yeah.
time.
I mean, I was basically there.
I think
All right,
Gary says
forget
that to
this.
our students. Focus on what you're doing, bud.
That's pretty much exactly when I literally just went into that mode for a second and I was like, yeah, nope, malfunction.
So, in this case, I think what I need from you is I'm gonna need. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna need you to roll your choice, Flight or Brawn.
Well, I'm gonna have to choose Brawn on that one, Alex. Here we go.
Because what's happening?
Fuck. Can I re-roll? Is there any way to re-roll
You
a dice
can't
in this
re-roll,
game?
but you can spend domain pops to enhance your roll.
Well, shit. I guess you know what?
I haven't rolled
will-
yet, so you don't know what I'm going to roll. This isn't. You're not trying to hit
Can I
an
see
unseen.
first?
You're not. Yeah, you're not trying to hit an unseen DC.
Okay.
What did you roll? You do have to tell me.
I do have to. I was gonna say I don't want to tell you that.
You're gonna see-
Technically, it's a 5.
Okay.
Because I got a couple of pluses.
You're going to see my dice roll here in a moment,
Okay.
because I will roll on screen for all to see.
What kind of die is about to pop out from the side
The
of the
suspense
screen?
I will be
Let us
rolling
all
with me
see
here.
together.
I will be rolling a d20.
Oh.
Well,
That is a 12.
Nope. I'm not. That's a lot of fucking. No, not doing it. I'm just gonna lose. It's fine. I'm unbreakable. Whatever. It's cool.
Well, you think you're unbreakable.
Stop saying shit like that. Stop
So-
it.
The way this part of it works is this was an opposed roll that has no, I'm not going to give you
Deadly
guys
consequences.
I'm not going to give you that fuel. I was going to say something that I knew you guys would immediately take out of
Something
context.
suggested.
Chad
I'll
also
just
has
say
something
it.
on his
My
face.
pages
Yeah,
were
we could want get
got,
the
like, something in his
D20
teeth.
off of Chad's face.
I had a
I
couple
want to
pages
see
that
Chad's beautiful face.
I had a couple pages that were sticking together.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
It's the new shape of my beard. It's the
Yeah,
Visual
no.
aids,
Just
eh?
make it a part of you now.
So, what did you
I'm
get?
just gonna cut it into a T20.
What did you roll, Carrie?
I got I
A 5.
rolled a 1, but I've got a couple of pluses, so it's ultimately a 5.
So that's a difference of 7. So, in terms of narrative control, what this means is that I, as the attacker, will explain what I do. You will, as the defender, will explain how you respond. I get to alter your response, however I need to. In the end, you are going to be badly hurt.
Okay.
So, I will start.
Do we get to use the life bars? It's my favorite part about being named.
We haven't used life bars in a minute, have we?
Okay.
With that, there's the life
Hey,
bars.
there they. Look at you, Quick Draw McGraw.
So-
you had that ready to go.
Rosie, as you are creeping up on this person laying down, and you got your bat sort of at the ready, and almost like poking at them, you're kind of crouched over and leaning.
Mhm.
When you get to where you're almost over top of them, a hand comes up and grabs the bat and pulls you off balance. At the
Ooh.
same time, their feet sweep around and sweep your legs out from underneath you.
Oh shit! Sweep the leg.
And they immediately knock you to the ground, and they continue the movement of their legs,
Mhm.
and sort of almost in like this bizarre, what almost looks like a breakdance move, they
God.
swivel around so that they're in a very low stance. This is where I'm going to allow you a chance to respond, and then I'm going to tell you, modify that if I have to, and tell you what the end result is.
Jesus. So am I on my ass? Am I on?
Yes,
the
you can
ground?
react. This is where you
Okay.
were knocked on your ass.
Okay. So I mean, Rosie tries to just like spring up, and I think like the first priority is like getting back on her feet, and then I think she would just try to like. This guy seems like he knows karate, and Rosie does not. So she would just kind of try to like tackle, like just brute, like force. I think that would be the best.
So
choice.
as you move forward in an attempt to tackle, the person comes up out of the stance, throwing their hands towards you like this. You can't tell if they're attacking or defending. At the same time, they flip their long dark hair back. You see a teenage girl, and she goes like this, and you are lifted off your feet about 20 feet in the air backwards until you slam hard into a tree. You hear at least your arm and maybe your back break from the force of it.
God.
And then your ankle snaps when you crash down to the ground at the base of the tree. You are conscious,
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
thank God.
but you are injured.
Yeah. No shit.
So you've basically taken 2 bars off your life bar. That is the resolution of that action. How do you respond to this? As you have a broken arm, possibly broken back, and a broken ankle.
I think Rosie is just like slumped sort of against this tree, and like obviously like she's unbreakable. This will stitch itself together, but it will take time. And in the meantime, it still fucking hurts.
Oh yeah, it absolutely hurts.
And she's just like, Rosie's just like, can't, like, you know when you get your wind knocked out, like something hurts so bad you can't freaking like breathe. That's kind of like that sick sort of groan you hear out of her as she's just kind of like sitting there. She can't even like comprehend moving
You
right
can
now. She's just looking
attempt,
into the-
if you
Yeah.
would like to use your power tokens to try to force your healing.
What are the possible penalties for doing that again?
Death? No,
I
I'm just
think
kidding.
you're pretty good until you use 4.
Until I
So
use
you
4.
get 1 free
Free
power
one,
token.
right? Okay. And is this a
you
D6
basically-
that I roll for that?
It's a D6 for however many you want to spend. You get steadily increasing effects. It could be as little as a headache and a nosebleed. You could have side effects such as nausea. You could pass out. Depends on the DC and how many dice you roll. This is going to be a moderate degree of difficulty, so +2. Have you ever tried to expedite your healing deliberately? I don't think
Have
you
I?
have. One says
I
no,
trust
one says
Tamiko
yes.
implicitly. I think maybe once.
So we'll call you as practice. So that's another +2. So that's a DC 4. Another deviation is +2, so that's 6. Scope is small, so +2. So DC is 8. You
Oh,
get one
shit.
free D6
Mm-hmm.
with no penalties.
Before I decide, can I see the person that did this
Yes.
to me?
In fact,
What if,
you see what looks to be a 16-year-old girl with long black hair. She's wearing... it's kind of hard to place.
she looks
she's-
like Ali Sheedy from the Breakfast Club.
She's wearing black... No. She's wearing black boots, some kind of black slacks, and what almost looks like a sweater, and a low-cut shirt. And she walks forward towards you, and she's kind of got her hands up like this, and she goes... You're just a kid, like me. And she kind of lowers her hands down a little bit.
How often do I get to expedite my powers? Is it like once per day, once per session, once per fucking year? What are we doing?
Say that again?
How often do I get to expedite my powers? Because if she's not gonna fucking hurt me, I'm just gonna let this happen on its own.
You can use power tokens. I don't know. Have we ever answered that question?
I don't think we've ever talked about it.
I think it's throughout the day you use power tokens, but after you sleep, you get them back.
Per long rest. Got it. Great. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my free die just to see where that gets me. Here I go. Expedition. Expedite. Ooh, that's a 6. That explodes. And that's a 5. That's an 11 total already just on my freebie, on my fucking cantrip.
So you already beat the
Level.
DC. So if you want, go ahead and describe what does it look like to this teenage girl when you heal your broken wounds in front of her.
I think as this girl approaches, Rosie kind of looks like pretty afraid. This has been a hectic couple of minutes. And I think as this girl gets closer, I think Rosie's just kind of like frantically like looking at her injuries and like trying to focus, and at the same time is like kind of hyperventilating, and then really just like takes a deep breath and tries to focus. And you see like her ankle, which is twisted at a weird angle, kind of just go and like come back to normal. And you see Rosie take like a really deep breath as her back fixes itself, and Rosie just finally like lifts her arm up, which is also bent at a weird angle, and it just goes whoosh, and like goes straight again. And then she like flexes her fingers.
The girl
and
looks at
stands up
you
pretty quickly.
and she goes, "You're more like me than I thought."
And Rosie just puts her hand out and just says, "Please don't do that again."
I'm sorry. I heard whatever that loud stomping and roar was, and then something came stomping through the woods. I panicked and I dropped. Maybe like a bear. Pretend I was dead. And then I didn't. Who are you?
Who are you?
My name's Ashley.
Fuck.
Ashley Raven.
Fuck.
So, this is a footnote here for the notes and for everybody here.
Rosie shanks her immediately. It's like a baby
All
Hitler.
of-
No.
Anybody in the audience, if this were a TV show, would recognize this teenage girl. This is Ashley Raven from 1955, who was harassed by what's her name?
Darla Stapler.
Darla Stapler.
Flag on the play. We know what she looks like because we saw all of that happen when we were in the haunted house.
Oh, that's right.
God damn.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Man.
So, you do recognize,
With the
though,
couple
then,
bags?
you do recognize teenage Ashley Raven from 1955, who was harassed by Darla Stapler and her friends, and who straight up murdered more than half of them in the old barn north of town because of how powerful she is.
I think, oh God, this is terrifying. Rosie knows who she is and is just like, all right, well, you're not gonna try to kill me or anything, are you?
I mean, that was purely self-defense. I didn't know who you were. I'll be honest, I have no idea where in the hell I am.
Well, I mean...
All I know is I was in town yesterday, and I was supposed to go hang out with these kids. Things started to turn... They started to turn against me, and then... I don't remember anything after that. Then I woke up here.
There wasn't a barn involved, was there?
Why would you ask me that question?
Just double checking some stuff. And Rosie takes a half a step away.
They invited me to a barn to hang out with them, but it was a trick. They were trying... I don't know what they were going to do to me, but it wasn't nice.
Why would they do a thing like that?
Have you ever had somebody at school that you just, from the first moment you met them, you knew they were just a bitch or an asshole?
And Rosie just like...
Yeah, that was Darla Stapler. She had it out for me from the moment we met. But why would you ask about the barn? Where is the barn? Are we near there? This doesn't... And she kind of looks around at the extremely tall white cedar trees, and she's like, this doesn't look anything like paradise.
Rosie would shake her head and just say, well, that's because it's not. And kind of like look back at where this is like literal, like between a rock and a hard place. Back that way is a fucking T-Rex, which she assumes has eaten and killed all her friends. And here is you know, Death Lady. And so it's she kind of just goes, let's stick together for now, and then we got to find a way off this island.
Island?
This is an island. It's out in the lake, the big lake. Paradise is back that way, way back that way. And I don't think it's paradise yet.
Oh. You know what? I think we're gonna need a charm versus charm here.
Oh, great. Good. That'll do it.
Is charm good for you?
Rigged.
No.
Rigged.
No. It's fine.
I mean, I'm only...
Make me use flight again.
She's only rolling a d6 for charm.
Oh, good.
2. Did you roll
I
a
got
1?
Oh no.
That's so perfect.
I
That's
think
so perfect.
you can see that
It's a little tense.
Ashley looks at you, and then she looks around and she goes, I can't think of anything better than sticking together. Whatever's going on, probably better if there's two of us, and she says us in a way that sounds like it's capitalized. She kind of just indicates towards your moments ago broken body.
Oh, yeah.
And she just, as she also says it, you see one hand just momentarily kind of tense up.
Yeah.
And then she.
So I was.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, Rosie just kind of nods, in sort of like a defensive. She's still sort of like in a defensive posture, sort of, and just keeps her bat in her hand, but sort of nods in agreement.
She then just kind of looks around and says, "So, where do we go from here?"
I think we should go at least see. And I kind of like look over my shoulder back towards the way I ran from. I'm like, there's a dinosaur back there.
She looks like you see her eyes get wide, and then she just kind of goes, "Oh yeah, okay, that tracks.
That's believable. Yep.
That tracks." And as the two of you start sort of walking in that direction, she just kind of glances over at you. I imagine the camera sort of staying put where you guys were as you walk away from camera, and she just kind of looks over at you and she goes, "So are you like on like a work release program or something? Because you're like wearing like overalls and work boots and flannel." And that's where we'll cut.
That's perfect. I love it.
We'll cut back to the rest of the
Army
crew.
Corps of Engineers.
Yep. I'm in the wax. That's amazing.
So we'll cut back to the rest of you. Where last we left off, you were
Coop was petting a giant baby.
Yeah. Also, just another
bubas.
just a footnote, because I see blame being hurled around. Ashley Raven was 100% my idea.
Nobody is.
What do you mean
hurling
blame?
What?
Mhm.
We don't believe in hurling.
I might be referring to chat and innocent bystanders. Yeah, so Coop's petting this dinosaur. What are the rest of you doing?
What are you guys doing? What are you up to?
So it's like a giant euphemism. Yeah, like I said, Laz is like stumbling up on whatever this is, and kind of looking at this dinosaur and looking at Coop, looking at this dinosaur. Can somebody tell me what is going on? Where are we?
So if I understand correctly, I think we are in the place that Amelia was referring to, the Valley of the Giants.
And she failed to mention that it's the fucking land of the lost?
Something had to be the giant. And I'm still kind of perplexed at the fact that, Coop is over there touching this thing. So I'm going to approach the girl. Has she identified herself at all?
Yeah, I think Oak was also looking to at least introduce and try to find out names and stuff outside of just the T-Rex's name.
No, she has not identified herself.
So I would say, "Hi, I'm Billy," and I would gesture towards Coop, who's obviously preoccupied with the dinosaur. This is our friend Coop. Are you out here with other people? Are you alone?
I'm not well, I mean, I'm not alone when I've got Mr. Grumpy Pants with me.
I meant other people.
I live that way, and she points sort of northward along the coastline, because you guys are sort of in, if it makes sense, that corner of the island. And she kind of points northward.
Show us on the crab claw.
You guys are here.
Great question. Perfect. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. I forgot. I'm reversed in the window. So no, wait. That was right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are here,
Uh-huh.
and she's pointing up this way. If you want to know why we're doing a crab claw, look at a map of
Manitou Island.
South Manitou Island, which I think is in the public Discord for this game. Anyway, she points up that way and she says, I live back that way with my dad. Oh, I am so sorry. My name is Sophie.
Sophie. Hi, Bubba's.
So, look, I know it's not normal to see Mr. Grumpy Pants here. I know he doesn't belong here, but we could kind of say the same thing about you.
Well, that is entirely true. Are there others like Mr. Grumpy Pants?
Oh, you mean dinosaurs?
Yes.
I haven't seen any yet. And Mr. Grumpy Pants won't let me go in to the cave that he came out of.
Wait, there's a cave that's possibly has other dinosaurs?
I don't think there's dinosaurs in the cave.
No.
More like a passage. Coop
There's-
just offers for no reason.
I think it's...
That's awesome.
So, there's a lot of stuff that comes out of that cave. And I don't know what all of it is. It's never been anything alive before Mr. Grumpy Pants. It's always just been stuff. Papers and boxes and pictures and weird things that I don't know what they do. I usually just put them in the water and let the currents take them around to the other side.
Oh.
I
So-
keep some things for myself. Dad said he's gonna go and check it out when he can get some supplies together. He wants to investigate.
You and your dad are from like this time period? Like now?
What do you mean? From now. I mean, this is...
You didn't come here from somewhere else? Like Mr. Grumpy Pants? Like us?
Came from Chicago. I mean, that's
But, like-
compared to here, that's like a whole other world.
Sophie, what year do you think it is?
The year that it is, 1855?
Okay, no, I just had to ask. Had to make sure. Thank you for clarifying. Does Sophie look like she's wearing 1855, like 1855,
Yeah,
1840s?
She's
like,
wearing, so
garb?
just as a reminder, she's wearing a flour sack dress or grain sack dress.
Got it, okay.
And she's wearing just some hard-soled shoes.
So
She has a heavy woven like burgundy cloak, and she's carrying what looks like it could be a handmade basket. I'm gonna make one retcon because weirdly Chicago was founded a year after Michigan was founded, which was 1837 for Chicago. I'm gonna say she says she's from New York originally, because New York was founded way
I
earlier.
love the historical accuracy of our game. Also,
Listen,
the dinosaur.
Yeah, we've got dinosaurs and time travel, but I can't have her be from a city that hasn't been founded
that
yet.
would be ridiculous.
Cretaceous James.
So let's get back to our telepathic kid, the werewolf kid, the time travel
Yeah.
kid,
Yeah, you know,
the unbreakable
the important
kid.
stuff.
And historical accuracy.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and
Oak said
historical
that he was
accuracy.
petting the dinosaur too. This muzzle's got 2 littles on it.
Coop, make me a brains check.
Oh, sure, you betcha. Oh, explode. Double explode. 11.
I
This is the
forgot you
best
have a
brains
small
check
brains
yet.
check. You're like, you exploded twice and you got an 11?
4, Maya.
Yeah.
4 for 3.
Coop, your right hand, where you have your power glove, which I believe is under a heavy workman's glove,
Yes.
is itching like crazy.
Oh. Hey, hang on a sec. Cretaceous James. And Coop takes his work glove off and starts like trying to scratch around the glove.
As you take your work glove off, you notice that all around the so this power glove we had established, it's like a special prototype edition. It was white and black with like gold buttons and
Very sleek.
it looks like it's spent 10 years in the jungle. It looks like if you took like if I were going to make one and weather it and put like oil paints so get all in the crevices and cracks, it kind of looks like that. And as you look at it, it looks like from behind some of the buttons in the little D-pad controller, there's some kind of a translucent gray viscous fluid that's just sort of oozing out of it.
Jacob, are you D100ing me right now?
Maybe.
All right. So Coop looks and he's like, "Oh, I've got glove boogers." He's shoving a finger down there trying to like
As you sort of are manipulating it and whatever, you see from behind a couple of these buttons, you see this ooze. It seems to seep out, and then it goes down the edge to where the edge of the power glove is, and you have those where the Tron, like when it was powered, where the Tron like lights and stuff, circuits were going up your arm. It goes down and it touches one of those, and you see it like capillary action. This viscous fluid just suddenly goes and traces along one of those lines, turning it silver, and new branches form out from it on your skin. And you see more starting to seep out.
Oak?
Yeah.
Hey, Oak?
Uh-huh. Yep.
This is really a bad time for this because this is so cool. But what's happening to me? Coop holds his arm out.
Okay, whoa.
And you can actually see like this quick silver branching or whatever the hell's going on right now. Like
Coop's becoming Silver Surfer. It's happening.
Okay, we don't have a handbook for this yet, Coop. I don't know what this is, man. Like
Another
it's not like
piece
Quick.
of ooze is tracing paths.
I can't remember. Was there a reset button on the controller or was it just on the console?
No, the controller had
controller
start and pause. There was
has
no
a
reset
pause button on it. Yeah, the actual console has the
Push
reset.
pause.
Coop mashes pause.
As you press down on the pause button, some of this stuff splorches out and oozes along your arm, and more of it. And now you see where that first trail was. You start to feel this burning, itching sensation, and you realize it's dissolving your skin.
Well, that can't be good. Ow!
Okay, no. Okay, hold on. Let me think.
It's burning! It's burning! And without
Okay.
even thinking, Coop goes and runs and pushes his hand into the pond
Oh.
because it's burning.
Yeah.
This is the logical thing to do.
That's honestly, I agree.
You run and you plunge your hand into the water. Coop, I need you to roll a D100.
I just made it worse. All right, let's see.
Electrify the entire
52.
pond.
Oh, it was so
that was
close.
I saw. Oh,
So this was a very small percentage chance of something good happening. It's close enough that you're not making it terribly worse. But what you see is, as you plunge your hand into this crystal clear cold water, is you see little tiny effervescent bubbles forming around the wherever this substance is, and then you see more of it sort of ooze out and follow along the glove to your arm and begin to move across these lines, tracing new pathways. It still burns and itches, and as that ooze moves, the ooze itself seems like it's hydrophobic. The water doesn't seem to affect it at all.
Coop,
But is it
what do you want
making
us
me
to
feel
do?
better?
Say that again.
Is it making me feel better?
That's up to you if it makes you feel better or not, because it still hurts.
Okay. What is it? Coop pulls his hand out and goes, it didn't help.
What do you want us to do, Coop?
Okay. Let me think. Give me a second. He kind of like looks through his bag.
I
He'll
don't
be-
know. Take it off. Take it off.
Okay. Let me try something. And then Oak will try and I don't know if there's something on the power glove that would be like shut off button or something
The
like
power
that,
glove
but-
hasn't had power since you guys arrived on the island.
Yes, it did.
Did
Briefly.
it?
It did.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
For Oak's
In the
lights.
bar.
Oh yeah. Yep. That one instance.
Yeah, other than that. No, there doesn't seem to be any power in it.
Okay. So the stuff is just leaking out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still
shoot.
continuing to leak out of it, and you'll notice that each time a new pathway is formed, it's kind of like ants once they've discovered a food source and they bring it back. More and more of this ooze is starting to seep out of. Remember, there's like a full keyboard
Ooh.
on this thing.
Icky. Billy, do you have an axe? Do you have something in there?
Well, I have a what?
An axe.
You could have. That's
Do
extreme.
it.
Coop. That's extreme. No, no.
It's not like it would be the first time.
Can
He's got a point.
I can get the glove removed.
And the last time it just got pulled off. Ugh.
What was that, Ted?
I said, can I see if I can help remove the glove?
You can certainly try. There's straps
Get
on
the-
it. And
Get the big brains in there. Come
I
on.
would like to use a brains check while looking over this glove to see if there's any way we can remove it without using the axe, if
Well,
possible.
I don't have an axe. I have a pocket knife, and I'm not gonna cut his arm off.
this is
with a pocket knife.
127 hours.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
gonna say
Yeah, I was
that.
like, there's a movie about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
I mean, it did not take 127 hours for him to cut
Coop
the hand off.
Coop
Just-
absolutely
there's
does
the
not want
mindset
you
of
to
getting it.
use. Do not use the pocket knife. Worst case scenario, we're on an island full of lumberjacks.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Holy crap!
Oh my god.
I explode once, and then I got a 10, so I got a 30.
So brainy.
Oak's
He's
head
so
actually
smart.
expands.
He'll figure a way out of this. He's like
I become
Megamind.
Megamind.
Yes.
Oh, and real quick to supplement Oak's really good roll. I'm not sure if it's helpful at all, but I have the skilled treasure hunter and can find a useful item at any moment by
Like
spending
an
a pop.
axe? Oh my god.
I'd like to
How
spend a
useful.
pop, Jacob, and we will find something useful as you see fit.
Nice.
I'm trying to remember.
Can opener might work also.
Like a crowbar.
So
A crowbar.
what were you trying to do, Oak, with your brains check?
I'm trying to look over this glove and see if there's any way to detach it, or if it is quite literally fused into skin to where I can't get it to remove. Like, I want to try to stop this silver goop, but I don't know what it is. So I'm trying to just analyze the glove to see if there's anything that can push the glove off.
Okay. So I'm I'm going to play fast and loose with science, given again we have a dinosaur and kids that can heal themselves and stuff. You are looking for a way to get this off without hurting Coop. And you're realizing that this thing is getting faster and faster, and you're losing time, and it looks like it's going to eat into and continue to go up. And you're suddenly actually reminded of when you got that fungus on you that started to cover your body. And that if you didn't get it taken care of in time, it was going to kill you. And this looks like if it is left to replicate unchecked, within the hour, Coop will be dissolved into a pile of goo. You realize that you have a couple options. You will need to cut away part of where it's sort of kind of fused to his skin. But you could do so with doing minimal harm if you can get it to detach from the end of his arm. You also do remember with that massive 30 brains check that you have, one, a device that allows you to stop time.
Yep.
And two, you yourself have the ability to manipulate time.
Yep.
Meanwhile,
So I think I'm going to try to do something like that while we wait.
Meanwhile, let me make this adjustment because Coop spent a pop. Perfect time to eat a popsicle, get an idea. You don't know why, Coop. Other than you've just always had luck when you're looking for something that you need to find and you just suddenly find it. And given your love of geology, as you're panic looking around the area trying to figure out what to do, you realize not that far from the edge of this, now that Laz is out of it, this like glass-like surface of this spring, you see that there are some rocks, and near some of the rocks there is a some of them that have this sort of powdery residue, and you recognize it as sodium bicarbonate or soda ash, which soda ash is used to change the pH level and counteract acid.
Oh my god.
Would Coop actually know that, though?
You have an entire book on rocks and geology.
And minerals and their effects and shit.
From the 80s. Did we know all that in the 80s? Because the book that I have also says asbestos is good. So, you know.
Soda ash has been used for I don't know how long to level pH in a swimming pool. So I feel like, yes.
All right. So Coop will grab Oak by the front of his shirt and say, There's soda ash on those rocks, and it'll stop acid. This feels like acid. Go get it.
Yes, sir.
I'll get it now.
Yes, sir. On the way, sir.
That tone had a very pickles and ice cream kind of ring to it, to Miko.
That's amazing. Oh my god.
So the one kid who had the brilliant idea of at least a couple different ways to fix this just ran off to do Coop's bidding.
Yep.
I wasn't thinking about that, man.
Right. No, that's
Listen,
fine.
you tell me to do it, I'm gonna do it, man.
Can see in this area where it's kind of like, it looks like there's a bigger rock, and some of the smaller rocks have maybe been pushing up from the ground and grinding against each other. And there's a good amount. You can get a handful of this soda ash, a couple handfuls, to bring over to Coop, or you could bring Coop to the soda ash. Either way.
I'll try to like paleontologist like scrape off a level of the ash. And
I would think it would be easier to bring him to the rock and then just immediately start,
oh yeah, just start packing
Put it
it
on
on.
Oak
Yeah.
starts running off, and then Billy just comes over, scoops Coop up, and whatever.
Yep.
Yeah,
100%.
Hustles him.
and we're just gonna.
Oak's trying to fashion a basket for the rocks.
You're taking time to basket weave. Do what I gotta do. Meanwhile, my friend's dying. Like, this will be fine. I'm just gonna Martha Stewart this for the next 15 minutes while he's passing away.
He tries carrying cups of
So
water in his hands.
Make sure that you weave the fronds evenly, so that you.
Over
One of my
and
favorite
under,
things to do.
over and
Oak,
under.
I'm gonna roll this into your D30 or your 30 brains check. That once Coop is there, you're able to start grabbing the soda ash and basically start plastering it on. Combined with the fact that the whole thing is wet from him shoving his hand into the spring, plus the sort of viscous nature of this stuff. As you start to pack it on, you see it forming into a mud and almost like a plaster. And within a few minutes, you basically make Coop's entire power glove look like a cast. It looks more like a wasp's nest, but a cast nonetheless, completely covered up. And you do notice that there's still these weird acid etched lines in running up Coop's arm, but they don't seem to be any more forming. You also know that Coop will probably need to keep this concoction covering his arm, at least for the day.
It feels better now.
It does. The itching has stopped.
Soothed.
Like pouring vinegar over lye.
My God.
There you go. But I am
Welcome
going
to
to say,
science
Yeah.
with mini terrain domain. We're talking about
Yeah.
acids and bases today, kids.
Woo!
Coop, you are stressed.
I wouldn't
To say the
imagine.
least.
When is he
so.
not? When is he not?
To say the least.
He's the most
To be honest, are any of us
stressed
not?
11-year-old I've ever met.
That needs to be the next MTD T-shirt.
You are stressed.
You are stressed.
And just have that level of
Yes.
the health bar, and it just says you are
Yes.
stressed.
You are stressed.
Absolutely.
So Coop just kind of exhales. Oh, that's better. That's better. We don't have to cut it off yet. Let's just see how this goes.
So,
I promise I'll work on it. You won't have to cut it off.
for reference, way back when, at the audience's insistence,
Thanks, chat.
you had rolled
Thanks.
a 63 on the D100 table, which was titled The Blob.
Oh.
You discover a strange puddle of ooze. It seems to be attracted to you like a magnet to metal. If this ooze touches you, it will stick to you and begin dissolving your flesh. As it feeds on you, it grows.
Well,
A very high brains roll saved you from having to potentially cut your arm off. Just every so often, Coop's arm is just getting shorter and shorter as he's having to deal with various things.
Every odd season,
Just
she
getting
loses
chopped.
a little more.
Yep. That's perfect.
We're gonna get to season 5 or 6. There's gonna be no arm there. It's just gonna be whatever Coop
Shoulder
wants
nub.
at that point.
Shoulder nub.
And I just want to say, for M's sake, it happened when you weren't here.
Typical. That's
So, Coop seems to be out of the woods. Well, you're still in the woods.
in the
In
woods.
fact, I think as you're sort of realizing that you're good to go, Rosie, we'll cut to you and Ashley as you're moving through the woods.
I like how nobody has noticed that Rosie's going. There's been a lot going on.
Oh, we noticed, but we couldn't take our eyes
No
off the
priorities.
giant
I
dino.
totally get it. No insult.
You approach you get to a point where you come over a small rise, and you see, first and foremost, the T-Rex standing there with the little girl next to the T-Rex. And you see about maybe 30 feet away from them, you see the others you see Billy and Coop and Oak, and they seem to be fussing over Coop, who's like huddled over holding his arm. Laz, what are you doing? Laz is there. You don't know how Laz got there, but he is soaking wet.
Yeah, Laz is kind of standing off to the side of where they've been applying this coating to Coop's arm, kind of uncertain of what to do or how to help. But the fact that there is a fire nearby, I think he's probably made his way over there. I think the chill that he felt during his liminal exchange has not completely gone away. It's even if it's just somewhat a placebo, he's gonna go over to this fire to kind of try to warm himself.
So that would put Laz closer to where you and Ashley are coming out of the woods. And Laz, I think as you're warming yourself by this fire while everything else is happening, you hear sort of the twig snap and look over and you see Rosie. And you see she's not alone.
Rosie's being sneaky because she doesn't still entirely understand.
Roll flight versus brains then. We'll see if you see them. It's a game after all.
I got a 4.
Hold on. I'm going to roll Ashley's flight.
Oh, great.
And you can add that to your stealth roll.
Great.
Ashley gets to roll a T4.
Same.
It's 2.
Same bitch.
It's a 2.
So that's 6 total for our stealth.
I got a 1 on my brains.
Great.
So
you don't.
Laz doesn't see anything. Laz, you hear the snap of a twig and realize it's crackling in the fire as you are trying to get warm.
He's kind of looking across the fire in that direction, so it's kind of ruining any possibility that he'd be able to see anything.
I'm trying to decide if there is danger, essentially, and nobody else is really bothering with the T-Rex or anything like that, and Laz is just sitting by this fire. So I think eventually I just kind of poke my head out, and Rosie is very muddy because she went face first into the fucking dirt, and she's just like, psst, hey.
He kind of looks around.
And I show my face.
Rosie?
Hey, shh.
He gets up.
Come
What
here.
are you doing over there?
Come here. Shh.
Why do you look like Schwarzenegger from Commando?
That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me. But there's no time for that now. Is that T-Rex, like, did it eat Coop's arm? What's happening?
Huh? No,
What do you mean
No, I don't know.
T-Rex? As you see this dark-haired girl poke out from behind Rosie. Just when you say T-Rex, she just suddenly pokes her head out, and then you just see her look past you, Laz, and her jaw drops. And Laz, you recognize Ashley Raven, teenage Ashley Raven, from the visions you saw in Stapler House.
Is that actually Raven?
Yeah, this is. I look at Laz and I'm like, this is Ashley, and we met in the woods just now, and I'm giving him like the be cool eyes. Like,
I'm gonna roll to see if she notices that you just called her by name. I think she's gonna. I think she might notice.
Shit. She notices the shit out of you calling her by name. That's a 12.
She kind of shakes her head and she goes, "Wait, how do you know my name?"
We saw you. We saw what you did.
Oh God.
What does that mean? And you
We
see
saw
her
that
step
you were-
away
you
from
were-
you, and
Oh,
you
God.
notice that her hands are starting to curl a little bit.
We saw that you were in all the clubs in the yearbook. That's where he saw your picture, I'm sure.
Make a charm check.
Oh God. Fuck. Okay, here we go. That's a 4.
Beats her too.
Good.
What does that mean? You saw the clubs and...
That's where he saw your picture in the yearbook. I'm sure.
She then looks
yeah.
at you and says, "What yearbook?"
The Paradise High School yearbook. What else?
She steps away from you a step.
Oh, shit.
I didn't go to Paradise High School. I was visiting Paradise, Michigan for the summer. How do you know who I am? And why is there a dinosaur? And why does nobody else seem to be concerned about the fact that there's a dinosaur?
Look, this is like one bullet point on a very long list of shit that we've had to deal with, and honestly, by comparison, it's really not that weird. Somehow.
I've already had to deal with teenagers from Paradise, Michigan, treating me like shit. And you see now that her hair is starting to go, it's very fire starter. Her hair is starting to go, and her hands are at her side and are starting to get tense.
And when you reacted to them teasing you,
Oh God, Laz.
and you did it violently,
Laz, she doesn't want to talk about that.
I
Don't,
don't remember what happened.
Laz, don't.
all I'm saying is there's a different way to handle things.
Let's make a charm check.
It's one of my good ones.
Ooh, is it good enough?
Oh, please.
Oh
I'll
God.
reload my sheet for some reason.
Is that 15?
No, the second 6 was, it just hadn't reset yet.
Glitch. Okay, for you.
That's a 9.
9.
My second one in a row.
Her hair is starting to flow more, and the wind, the rest of you notice the wind is beginning to blow around you.
I'm like physically interposing myself between these
As
two.
she
and I'm like,
says, I don't know what it is with this place. I don't know what it is with teenagers and kids around this place. By now, the rest of you can start to hear another voice that you don't recognize that is talking very loudly as the wind is picking up and leaves and pine needles are starting to swirl around her feet as she says, I am beginning to hate Michigan and everything about it. And I think with Laz rolling a 1 and she rolling a 9, she just reaches out and she goes like this. And you hear a tremendous cracking sound. And I'm going to need Laz, and I'm going to need the group of all of you that's not Rosie to make flight checks as one of the very tall white cedar old growth trees. Ashley Raven has just snapped off the top half, or rather the top 2/3 probably, of a tree that was probably a couple thousand years old. And it is crashing down.
what a loss to the biome. R.I.P.
Mouse O'Connor is going to be really upset when she sees
Yes,
that.
she is going to be pissed.
So I got an Oak, I got a Billy, I got a Coop, I need a Laz roll.
I am spending a pop to get 5.
Okay. Now, did somebody just make the sound?
I did.
I literally thought, why was that so quiet? I thought I hit the
I'm really
button.
good at it.
That was really good.
Thanks.
You psyched me out. I'm like, I didn't press the button, did I? Why is it so quiet? So that would take us down to 45. So I just need to make the adjustment real quick. Badoop, boop, and then okay. I need somebody. Well, I need a brave soul, a brave volunteer to roll me a D100.
I'll do it.
Boy. Attaboy, Ted. You're the best of us.
That would be a 76, sir.
I'm going to do one pop for 5 too.
Okay. Let me roll this real quick and then I'll get
5 is a good, successful number.
Nice
that.
prize.
77.
Oh no.
No, this is very good.
Oh,
okay.
good.
You're welcome.
This is
Thank you, Ted.
Well done, Ted.
very. Well, hold on. I got too many things I'm trying to. We spin a pop there, and then need the dice to go away. Okay. This tree snaps. The sudden sharp crack ringing out through the area, causing everybody's heads to snap up, and you just see this ancient top 2/3 of this tree break, and it doesn't like timber, it breaks and then moves almost immediately horizontal and then is pulled downward.
Oh, man.
And as that happens, there's a sudden additional sound. Before it even hits the ground shudders. The earth around you shudders. There's another snap as the tree snaps in half. Laz and Coop. Coop, you're going to take another injury, so you're no longer just stressed.
Now you're full on ouchied.
You are injured as several branches
It'll be
slam
okay.
into you.
I'm a child. I have quick healing.
True.
Not as quick as Rosie, but I have quick
Wolverine.
healing.
Laz,
Awesome.
you, because you're getting the lower half, you're going to take 2 wounds, so you're going to go from wait, where did the bars go? Why is Laz not showing
I
up?
don't even have one. I'm dead.
Dead.
I don't know why you just wasn't showing up. Anyway, you are injured. But the reason why you are not more severely injured and in critical or dead and dying states is because Mr. Grumpy Pants took 2 strides forward and the tree broke across his back. Mr. Grumpy Pants is fine.
Okay. Good.
Because Ted, or rather I rolled so close to Ted's roll.
Was he going?
There were
to
2
die?
levels of percentage chance. There was, first was the roll to determine, does he make it in time to block the tree? The second half of that was, if it's too far away from the number, but still within the range that he makes it there, he could have been taken down or knocked down, injured. Mr. Grumpy Pants seems to be a little hurt, but the pieces of the tree snap off of him, and I don't have an isolated roar set aside for Mr. Grumpy Pants right now, but nonetheless, the air is filled with the T-Rex roar. Coop, you immediately are washed over with the sensation of pain from Mr. Grumpy Pants, followed by anger, and his head swings around and locks in on Ashley Raven.
Ooh.
And Rosie, you're the closest to Ashley, not affected by this falling tree.
Yeah.
And you see, as the tree snaps, you see Ashley look with fear. She looks to you almost pleadingly, and then you see her eyelids go, and her eyes roll back in her
Ooh.
head,
Ooh.
and she passes out.
Ooh. Oh God. No.
Hold on.
Laz was calling.
I
for
said
the
she
coup de grace.
passed out, and I look at you and you go, well, like,
Well, I'm deciding what I want to do. If the
it was
frickin'
kind of like,
T-Rex
well,
is- do I want to say anything?
I mean, Mr. Grumpy Pants hungry, maybe, and it'd be stopping the Nexus project. 2
This
birds,
is-
1 rock.
No, this is bad
This is what we
sportsmanship.
should-
Rosie's not about bad sportsmanship.
We're not gonna do that.
the T-Rex,
This is
So
what
it's-
we came here to do.
the T-Rex is coming towards
Not
you.
like this.
No, I would stand between, like, right, like, over top of her, and I would just, like, be gripping this bat, and I'm like, this is the worst. This is the worst. This is the worst thing.
I'm gonna
And-
need you to
Oh,
make
God.
a grit check, because you hear in your head, Coop, you hear Sophie call out, "Mr. Grumpy Pants, no!" And the T-Rex lowers its head, and in your face, Rosie, roars at full volume. We're not going to be...
If it looks like it's going to go through Rosie,
No.
I am going to try and, like, tackle her out of the way.
You are too far... Let me put it this way. In your current form, you are too far away to get to Rosie in time to intercede.
Okay.
But it just
I'm-
roars in her face like it stops short, almost as if pulled like a pit bull on the end of a chain. And it basically just roars in your face. What did you get for your grit check?
I'd like to spend a pop to make that a 5.
I'm not going to have you waste it because that's nowhere near what you would need. So you pee a little.
Pee a little bit. Everybody's wet here anyway, so like just nobody knows.
Yeah, this is
Perfect.
absolutely
We're all just damp.
terrifying. But it doesn't seem to do anything more. It does lower its head down, looking at the unconscious Ashley Raven. And then all around you, as everybody's sort of looking at all of this unfolding, you hear Sophie's voice. And she comes walking up and she says, Hey, things seem to be getting a little out of control here. Mr. Grumpy Pants has had a little too much excitement today. I think we need to go home. You guys, you can all come with me.
You sure about that?
Is that a good idea?
Why wouldn't it be?
Well, if we're the
Rosie just
reason
like
why-
raises a finger up and points at the fucking dinosaur.
Oh, Dad knows about Mr. Grumpy Pants.
That's not what I meant. It's not what I meant at all.
If we're the reason why Mr. Grumpy Pants is upset, should
Well,
we really
it's
be?
just- If we get home and he can go in his cave and calm down, then we should be okay. Besides, I think you'll like this. And she puts her hand on the flank of Mr. Grumpy Pants, and she closes her eyes, and Coop, you can hear. You're close enough. It's like an open frequency. That Amelia communicates with Mr. Grumpy Pants in images and feelings and thoughts in this case. And you realize what she's asking. And you sense the reluctance from Mr. Grumpy Pants, but when she promises with images of the cave and being able to rest away from the excitement, and images of her you don't see clearly. You just see this sort of just quick, vague image of a masculine figure with a bow, and you see a half a dozen dead deer, implying, hey, dinner. That's when Mr. Grumpy Pants shuffles around, careful not to strike anybody with his tail, and puts his tail down on the ground and crouches. And
She's gonna ride.
Sophie clambers up on top of Mr. Grumpy Pants and climbs all the way up to just behind his head, looks down at the rest of you and says, "Come on, there's room for everyone." You should bring
Coop
that.
rolls
You should bring the
out
new
of
girl.
the boughs of the tree that fell on him and goes, "I want to ride." Ow.
So
Yeah, we
I'll make sure everybody grabs their, socks and boots and what have you.
got to break down the camp and put out the fire. Only you
Yeah,
can prevent forest fires.
Or we're gonna get a haunting. by
Mr. Grumpy
freaking
Pants just
the
steps
bear.
over with one foot. The fire's out.
If you want to do it that way,
I asked
think
Laz
Laz-
to help me get
Yeah, I was
Ashley
gonna say-
Raven up on the dino.
Laz goes over to Rosie. Anyways, are you okay?
And I think Rosie only just then, kind of snaps out of it and like, yeah, did we win? Did it work? Did
I don't know. What was the contest?
not dying?
Then yes, I think so.
Okay.
At least for now.
Could you help me with her, please? And Rosie just like goes and gets ready to
Yeah.
lift her arms.
And I think as they're carrying her, there's they're literally one end of her each.
Oh yeah.
And they're
yeah.
staring at each other anyways. He's like, so all that stuff with Claire,
Yeah.
I have no idea what any of that was. Any more than I understand where we are now and what's going on. When we came back, that's just something that happened, and I should have dealt with it different. I don't know how, but look, I don't have any kind of feelings towards her or anything like that at all.
And Rosie goes, Laz, I'm so glad to hear you say that. And I totally drop fucking Ashley Raven's arms and she goes thud into the freaking her unconscious body. Just goes thump.
Yeah,
And then I like
I was
throw
gonna-
my arms around Laz.
I was gonna say this whole scene is taking place at the tail end of the dinosaur,
I
and like
know.
the two of you hoisting a part of her body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thunk. It's like, oh shit. And then, like as soon as I'm
He
done,
slides down the tail like a water
hugging
slide.
you. I like pat you on the chest. I'm like, we'll talk more later. And then I go pick her up again. And
Oh yeah.
we
right.
heft her.
So we get to see a nice little montage or like a drone follow shot, I guess, of all of you riding astride the back of a T-Rex that is moving at a decent pace, but it's it's barely more than a walk, because it's just
Oh my god, Ted.
Perfect,
Stop.
perfect.
That is amazing.
as you
Wow.
make your way across along the sort of west coastline of this island that kind of goes northwest towards the northern point of the island, and eventually you come to what looks like another rise of dune cliffs is a homestead that is overlooking Lake Michigan to the north. And you can see where there is a clear path that leads down towards the water's edge, and where these high dune cliffs are, where you can clearly see T-Rex footprints. As Mr. Grumpy Pants brings you to the front of this house, this homestead, which is like a pretty decent looking, well put together cabin. And you come to a stop, and Mr. Grumpy Pants lowers down as you all begin to clamber down. You hear, as the last of you, Sophie being the last, clambers down from Mr. Grumpy Pants. He gives a little bit of almost like a chirping, like the velociraptors in T-Rex or in Jurassic Park, just this sort of kind of barking sound, and then he puts his head down low and he follows that path down and around and disappears down around the side. Sophie suddenly goes, "Dad!" And you see the front door of the cabin is open, and there's a man who looks to be in his maybe early 30s, clean shaven. He's muscular, but not like overly so. And there is, to some of you, there's something vaguely familiar about this guy, but it's kind of like, I don't know. He looks like that actor, or kind of looks like somebody I met before.
Mm-mm.
And he walks out, and he's you see that he's got a bloody rag in his hand, and he goes, "Good thing I did some hunting for old Grumpy Pants there, huh?" And sets the rag aside, and he goes. Sophie runs up and hugs him around the waist and kind of puts his hand around her, and he looks at all of you and says, "Well, last time Sophie brought home a dinosaur. Did not expect her to bring home a bunch of kids. Nice to meet you all. I'm Sophie's dad. Name's Thorgarn Talmud."
Yes, dude. Hell yeah.
However, as he says this, picture the camera looking around at all of you is just very, I don't know why the word convivial just popped into my head. I don't know if it's even the right word. But this very gentle giant of a man looks around at all of you, and you're all kind of taking in this scene. The camera settles on Coop. because
Coop's looking like super meat boy after a bad run.
but,
Black eye, probably a missing tooth.
but Coop, this man who is Sophie's father, who has just introduced himself as Talmud Thorgarn. See,
You
I
said it
did-
the other
oh my
way.
gosh! I can't help it. That was the
Fucking perfection.
I
That is
could
nice.
not.
Wow,
I could
I'm
not
having
have planned that
flashbacks.
better. Oh my
That's
gosh!
perfect.
This is the original I'm Coopy's Oak.
Yes.
If
the
you know,
OG,
you
let's
know.
go.
This was a deep cut
was
Easter egg, and I somehow made it
priceless.
better and worse at the same time.
That's
This man who has introduced himself as Thorgarn Talmud. It's very confusing to you, Coop, because you recognize this man. And you've known him as Roger.
Oh. Who's Roger?
Coop,
My dad?
this is your dad.
Oh. Like your real dad, the one that called
Holy
you a little bastard.
nutsack.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, beans.
Let's go,
beans.
beans.
Oh,
Alright,
beans.
I'm sorry, Jake, but I don't buy it. Thorgarn Talmud being clean shaven,
Right.
giant of a man.
This
Come
is all
on.
you. This is all you.
All intentional. I have been wanting to introduce an NPC named Thorgarn Talmud for so long, and I figured out the perfect place to do it, and then I wish I could
That
say
is-
I did that on purpose. I didn't. I think it just was muscle memory or lack of.
Perfect.
So
It could
good.
not have happened more perfectly.
You said it, and my brain literally went, wait a second. Did he just?
That's
So-
amazing.
I will be upset if next session we look around this cabin and we don't find a hammer of some kind or another. Just saying.
Oh, please.
So-
please.
As a footnote, for those who don't know, Jeremy and Ted were a part of a very long-running campaign, the Dawnbringers, and they each played dwarven ancestral barbarians that were named, respectively, Thorgarn and Talmud. And they are the original Coop and Oak, because I was constantly mixing their names up.
That is so awesome.
Um,
That is so great.
At one point, to enhance, and I'm glad I didn't do it because this happened, but to enhance the joke, I was going to name him Thormud Talgarn.
Oh god, that would have just really threw you off.
But yeah, I wouldn't have known how to say it any other time. But yes, this man has introduced himself as Thorgarn Talmud. But Coop, you are looking at your dad.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So in this episode, we had darkness, we had dinosaurs, and we had other strange things. There was a lot of things that got dropped in this.
That was something else.
There was a lot going on. This episode did a lot of heavy lifting, but it felt good to throw a series of mysteries at you. Yeah. So with that, I want to say a huge thank you to those who supported with bits and subs and all that good stuff. This is the last stream game of the month. There's only one more day left in the month, so we'll start with new goals, sub goals next month, and whatnot. But thank you all for that support. And of course, you fuel the domain dice which got used tonight, and you support the channel. Thank you to everybody hanging out in the chat. I know we've had some newer viewers that have come by recently following the channel and stopping by. Love having you. Love seeing the activity in the chat. And if you're not already there, come join us in the Discord. But yeah, thank you so much. And if you're somebody that likes to lurk quietly in the background, or you are watching later with us on the VOD, know that we appreciate you and hope you enjoy our shows. And finally, I don't know where all of this wacky stuff comes from in my head sometimes. I know that some of it comes from weekly coffees with Craig. Which my wife dubbed us the Bigby Boys because we go to Bigby for to get some veteran coffee. So not a sponsor, but Bigby, because of course they're watching this. Bigby, you could be a sponsor if you wanted to. Bigby Coffee presents Welcome to Paradise, Michigan. But yes, we do discuss this game in great detail, and we brainstorm and we come up with some ideas, and yeah, there was a little bit of Craig and a little bit of me in this well, a lot of me, but as well as you guys, because you guys are making the dice rolls and reacting to everything and doing the stuff that you do. So I just love this game. I love playing this game with you guys. It's just a highlight and an absolute joy. So a huge thank you, as always, Chad, Tamiko, Carrie, Ted, Jeremy, and though they weren't with us tonight, they were with us in spirit, M, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream. You can say it with me if you want.
More like